You know, we really wanted to do an Ashton Ojo reference, but then the show did it with their episode preview. We opened this week with each of our villainesses marching into their respective final bows, with Utena facing the Lord directly, and Kiwi with the sister, who was rightfully curious why there was a tail coming out of her ass. However, she didn't get any answers before the show just went to full Michael Bay mode in the good sense. Yeah, in this case, I don't care if this is just some cheap still frame animation, we're still getting some big explosions with big boobs. What is there to complain about? Okay, maybe that's one thing for the girl herself. Yeah, as it turned out, one of the likely reasons Kiwi had pretended to be a zero star was because she still hadn't stabilized her 3-star powers. As a result, her body was not only receiving blowback damage, but she was also randomly mass shifting, otherwise why would she be this big compared to the sister and the buildings? However, stuff like being a glass cannon and animation errors didn't deter her because... Now you see, this is why Kaguya had to be as reserved as she was, otherwise we'd all be dead. At the same time, Utena was fighting Lord in a little less impressive fight. Granted, there were some clever moments, like the former, again using light bulbs to trap Lord's monsters, but yeah, without the boobs and explosion, the poor animation did stick out a little more. On that note though, Kiwi's fight was reaching its end with her winning. Yeah, surprisingly, the horny little berserker came up with a good plan to use the sister's giantessism against her by weakening the foundation around her. From there, she KO'd her with one of the most badass bluffs ever.
That was awesome!
Meanwhile, the rest of the girls managed to hold back Lord Xiao's thanks to Korisu's dollhouse, but I guess it was also her nap time. Either that, or maybe she decided to celebrate 420 over a month early. As a result, all three were de-transformed, which turned out to be a bit of a blessing in disguise, as it just so happened the Tresmagia decided to return.
Oh, how convenient!
Though, I can give a pass to that little bit of plot convenience, as Sail also managed to briefly reveal the results of her training. Lesson of the day, kids, if you ever feel weak, just let your friends beat you up for a few days. Back with Utena, she was being cruelly tortured by Lord. Oh, not because she was restrained and put into a degrading position, that's just an average Sunday night for her. No, instead, she had to listen to this lady deliver an evil monologue about how she had every right to take over the world because the strong dominate the weak. Same, Utena, same. Seriously, if this is a commentary on how many villains in magical girl anime somehow remain walking cliches in this day and age, then this show could not have come out in a better time. But yeah, Utena needed to think up a new plan of attack, especially since she didn't want to have to deal with this chick's rare childish delusions, which became the key. Wait, so she was Pito from GGO this whole time? No, and she also managed to awaken a much more powerful super form with I don't know how many stars on her face. I will say, the longer horns and hair do look awesome, and give her a much more imposing silhouette, even though she kind of looks more like Pinhead at this point. As a result, she even managed to assert dominance on Lowly Lord's creations. Also, points to Yoko Hikasa for being able to seamlessly transition from an adult to childish voice, even though that wasn't actually the case, at least in the reality of this show. Well, obviously, she's just having a conversation with that lady's vagina. Actually, Lord wasn't using an adult avatar, nor did Utena actually turn her into a loli, at least not in reality, but rather just in her head. In short, Doms can't work well with other Doms, so she projected her as a loli to act as her next target, which, yeah, does highlight some concerning implications about our main villainess. I will say though, I think they could have storyboarded this reveal a little better. Like, I wouldn't have used this shot of Utena literally talking down to the adult lord until after Nemo brought it up. Instead, they should have used a shot with Lowly Lord, which they might have originally planned, but the animators just didn't get it done in time. Maybe they'll fix it for the Blu-ray, we'll see. In any case, Utena brought Lord down into her lap and, well, Yeah, I'm not sure if we could show what happens next on YouTube. Though, maybe we could simulate it with something from a kid's movie or something? Oh, no wait, that's from Disney's Pinocchio, which means... Damn it! But yeah, the final fight of the season ended with a schizophrenic teenage girl slapping the ass of a young adult woman who she saw as a little girl. Don't worry guys, I have my own handcuffs. I mean, granted, it was an effective means of permanently depowering Lord, at least in the moral sense, and gave them the full victory. Though Lord herself didn't want to admit defeat, so Venelita, who of course had been watching the whole time, decided to deliver the final blow by revealing her true role and everything. As it turned out, they had purposely given her extra power from the start, with little growth potential, compared to the formerly lower ranked stars in Utena's group who had a lot more potential as could be seen. Yes, as it turned out, the woman formerly known as Lord was essentially like a crutch character in an RPG. A character designed to be stronger at the start, but ultimately will only act as a tool to ensure the growth of the actual main characters of the game, and will eventually just be thrown into the PC by the end. Thus, you could say she's even more of a foil for Utena in the sense that she was meant to make her stronger in the same way Utena was making the Transmagia stronger. In short, she was basically at the bottom of the food chain. I mean, should I even fill you up considering that thing is pretty much an incubator at this point? Ah, you know what, you have a cute face, so... I guess the same would also apply to Sister Gigante, though she was a far more willing tool who quickly disposed of her former lord. Granted, Venelita was still very much a troll for not telling her about Kiwi, but yeah, everything was now going according to this little gremlin's Keikaku. And with that, the episode ended with them offering rewards to Utena's group. For starters, they agreed to give Kiwi her precious hotel, which she very kindly offered to the other lesbian couple. And second, they were going to make Utena the new leader of Enormida. This episode was just awkward, kind of creepy, and very weird, and I loved every second of it. I mean, it was pretty much a foregone conclusion that Utena would reach these sorts of levels of depravity, but in the process, we also did get some legit good storytelling with well-executed twists that were properly foreshadowed, and yet didn't feel too obvious. Which I guess is only appropriate when you replace a cliched final boss with an actual three-dimensional and interesting one. This is definitely one of those episodes that had one of the best catharsis factors, both in the obvious sense that Lord was pretty much asking for this after what she had done to her underlings and her general demeanor. And while this is a bit more of a personal take, it is also very gratifying to see an antagonist with such shallow goals be taken down a few pegs. It highlights how truly meaningless Lord's goals were if she really thought she could rule anything when she not only sucked at maintaining her underlings, but also could never accept the fact that there might be those better than her, which made the cruel irony that that was pretty much the case by design hit that much harder. Meanwhile, and even disregarding power levels for a minute, Utena can be humble in the sense that she accepts the fact that there will come a day when the Transmagia will defeat her, but she'll still put out the best fight she can, alongside the allies she's made. Meanwhile, anyone she doesn't see as an ally, she does kind of rightfully see as being beneath her, which, questionable implications aside, did lead to a pretty hilarious victory, especially with everyone's varying degrees of acceptance. This also led to some interesting twists, with Venelita now going into full Cube mode, Sister Gigante being a double agent, and the Transmagia, especially Sao, now leveling up their game. And overall, and in spite of the usual wonky animation and possible production issues, this is still a very fun climax to the show. While the season is unfortunately coming to an end next week, they have laid the groundwork for a possible season 2 with this episode. We'll just have to see if this little schizo has a few more tricks in her torture bag. Thank you for watching, and if you just so happen to want to hear me complain more about some shallow villains, maybe check back tomorrow. We're just about done with the Hirogawa Sky overview, and coincidentally, we're just finishing editing a whole section about Skeerhead. Also, if my hair looks longer in that video, it's because I got a haircut yesterday and recorded that stuff a few days earlier. But yeah, look forward to it, and until then though, for now my friends, and if you'll excuse me, I think I need to start depositing some of these coins.